All right, everybody, quick update video on the car. I've had a lot of things going on. You know, my son's birthday was the other day. We spent a day going to a car show, the Porsche Air Idaho car show, which was pretty cool. We spent some time, went over to Firebird Raceway, the drag strip. So we've just kind of been checking out the car culture here in Idaho since we haven't been here that long. So there's been some days that I haven't worked on the car, but there's also been some days where I've just been sitting here staring at the car, thinking about what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to go over what we got done. I got a little bit of footage of putting this pan in. So this is the front trunk pan. It's completely seam welded around the front. Got her all dialed in. The only thing I need to do is I need to weld the suspension brackets on here, and then the ones that also go here. But went in pretty good. It's nice and solid. So took a little bit of effort because there was that impact up here in the front driver's side corner. So some of this was mangled. Took some manipulating. You'll see I got a time-lapse video I'll throw in here on that. And then I kind of left you guys hanging on the subframe that I was building, and the reason is because I didn't get it done before the car went to sandblast, but I just threw it up here real quick so you guys could kind of see the idea of what I got going on. I've got 1/4 inch plate that my motor mount from the Audi's gonna bolt to, the Audi engine. And then I got some solid motor mounts. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use these or not, but the whole idea that I have with this subframe is that it's going to also act as a stiffening for the chassis. And so I don't want any rubber mounts here where the original engine mount was or where the transmission mount was. This is all going to be dual purpose. It's going to be brace and then a cradle for the engine. And then I'm going to use the factory motor mount and tranny mount. And those are going to give me my vibration resistance. So I got to finish that up. Once I get the car done with all the sheet metal, then I'll probably dig back into setting this up. But we could take a look. I've been working on this hellhole here a little bit, and then also I've been cleaning up this engine bay. You can see I removed a bunch of sheet metal in this area, and then I had to remove this engine mount, and I'm gonna need to get a new engine mount because obviously that one's toast. And then you can see a bunch of the sheet metal that I've been pulling out of the car down there on the floor. And I put this brace in here from side to side, and I believe I'm going to have to remove the suspension mount so that I can get in here on the longitudinal and put these two pieces of sheet metal in. That's the outside. This is the inside, that's the outside. So those are going to be going in soon. And then over here, we've got that piece of the frame rail, which is this piece right here. And so I've been thinking a lot on this, and I know that my door gaps on the passenger side aren't right. And so I've ordered some like turnbuckles that I'm gonna put in there with a rod so that I can manipulate those door gaps to the exact measurement that they're supposed to be. And I found this drawing here, which shows me this H point, where to measure and what the actual measurement is. So I'm gonna do that with using those specifications instead of just winging it, so that I can get this car as square as possible. So I've been thinking about that, and that's been slowing me down. How am I going to do it? Where am I going to brace before I start cutting this out? Even though it's all rusted out and it's definitely contributing to the flex of the chassis, there is still a little bit of strength in there that's holding it together, and I don't just want to cut that out and have this thing fold up like a taco. So I got to figure that out. And then I have all this rust up here, and I never purchased this frame rail. And so you can see all that rust coming through. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one down here, because this curved edge is good, and I'm going to cut this And cutting that is gonna allow me to patch it in up here. So I'll reuse that piece of metal on the inside. I looked up in there, there's no rust on it, so it should be good to use. So yeah, that's where we're at. You know, I got a lot to do here, but I want to have some major progress in this frame rail here for next video. And I won't be putting out videos twice a week anymore. I think I'm going to stick to once a week. So look for videos every Sunday. It just, with summer coming around and we have some trips and stuff planned and we want to explore the area more, it's going to be harder and harder for me to post twice a week. So look for videos to come out on Sundays. And those of you that have been watching, thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll see. Hopefully we have lots of progress for next Sunday. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It's really going to help this channel grow, and that's what we want to do. So anyways, thanks again. And here's some time-lapse footage of what we did this week. All right, here we go. Today we're going to put this panel in here. I've already seen some issues. It looks like the curvature in this area right here, I'll show you, is wrong. So the way it curves and the suspension mounting bracket don't line up. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I think I'm going to have to cut a line here straight, and then we'll have to jog it in and cut that line. I got some spot welds I got to get out here still. So I think I'm going to work on that, and then we'll see where we get. All right, so I decided to take the suspension brackets off. Got this one off. I'm gonna work on taking the top one off. It just was proving too hard to fit this panel because there's no way to get it up tight so I know where my cut line is. I'm gonna cut it little by little to make sure I don't go past and end up with a mess where I have to put a filler strip in. But I think it's best. I'm going to take these out of the way, set my panel up there, and see where exactly it's going to line up. So yeah, taking that other suspension bracket off.